When I feel a game isn't going well, it's when I motivate myself more to get on the ball, try and win the ball back for the team. At that time I had become a bit too obsessed, for example, with what I was eating, and I felt like I was almost becoming kind of sick.
What do you think your future holds?
Hopefully some successful seasons abroad. When you want to do something, you can't say this one's going to say that, or this one's going to say that, or they're going to think I'm this. I got to where I wanted to be a year ago, but now I'm already obsessed on what I want next.
I want to ask you one piece of advice that you'd give to the audience between 16 and 21-year-olds. What will it be? Another episode on the Champions Connect podcast, and today we're here with someone who many players, young footballers, admire, Matthew Guillaumier. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invite. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
To speak to you.
It's a very hectic week for you.
Yes, hectic few weeks actually.
Few weeks, exactly. And as a footballer, it's the right time to discuss this.
Yes.
You just signed for a new club.
So yeah, I signed for a new club, Panserraikos. Next week I'll be going and having the tests, and then we start pre-season, I think 4th of July. So that will be good.
Do you like pre-season? Be honest.
No, it's going to be my longest one, because in Poland it was always like I go 1st July, but the league starts like 2 weeks after, so there's no pre-season.
That's the perfect pre-season, huh?
Which I loved, because I kind of just go, play 2 friendlies, and then I play, as in games. But now in Greece, the league starts 23rd August, so we have a long pre-season, and it's going to be my first one, because even in Malta, as a lot of people know, that like national team, and then if you're in Europe, you have like a week or 5 days off, and then you just get back into it.
No, it's one of your fewest, most pre-seasons.
Yes, no, for sure. It's
the
going to be
longest
one of the longest ones I've ever had.
I don't even want to think about it, because we die, huh?
I don't want to think about it, because I don't know if the coach is going to be one that kills us with running, or it's just going to be like a normal pre-season.
Maybe the old technique, the old technique.
In a way, it's good that I'm there from the beginning, but now we'll see, as in how it goes.
And you mentioned before we sat down here that you took this option for many reasons, but one of these reasons is that they contacted you before the transfer window opened.
Before the transfer window opened, and I felt like kind of that they wanted me, and they said that they had been scouting me, so it made me feel like they want me part of their plans, kind of, not just okay, he's still available, let's take him, which was more of a feeling I felt when I left Hamrun and was looking for an option abroad back then. And then obviously another option that I moved to Greece is because I'd like to take up my dog, which is quite a big dog. Okay. And my wife doesn't want to put him in the hold, and neither do I. So we'd have to drive and to Greece, as in still complicated, but maybe it's a bit closer.
Makes more sense.
Easier. As in to Poland you can still do it, but it's a bit more complicated and takes a bit longer, I think.
You mentioned wife. Congratulations, you just got married.
Thank you.
You're 27?
27, and she's around my age, still 26. That's why it's been a hectic few weeks.
Exactly, as well. So.
As in, to be honest, the past few weeks have been crazy, because we finished the season 25th May, I think. 26th May I was back. 27th May trained with national team for like 3 days. And then it was the only time I could go on a bachelor's, and I went on a bachelor's with my friends, and that was actually the first time I've ever been abroad with my friends. Enjoyed it a lot. We went to Barcelona, and then we came back and continued the national team, basically.
And that was a really tough game, huh?
Yes, and that was basically 3 days before the wedding. So, I was a bit anxious because of the game, and anxious because of the wedding as well, because you want to make sure
everything's smooth. Exactly. With regards to the game.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, the result wasn't there.
Not at all. I think it was.
But you're playing against top teams, right?
No, top teams, but you can still limit the result to way more. I mean, if you watch the game, there were times when we even had shots on target and had chances to score. But then if you're not a bit more solid defensive, not a bit, much more solid defensively, because 8 goals is a lot. To be fair, we were 3-0 in the first half, in the first 15 minutes. And then there was like a 30-minute period, 40-minute period, which were okay. And then once we conceded the 4th goal, I think mentally everybody was a bit destroyed. And they just, to be honest, I felt like they didn't have mercy for us. They just wanted to get us back, I think, for things that happened in the past.
I was speaking to one of the players, and he's a friend of one of the players of Netherlands. I think you know what I'm speaking about.
Yes.
And he mentioned that he told him that they're going out to smash you.
Yes, no, I mean the day
So-
before Van Dijk went on an interview saying we're going to be very, very, no, make it very, very difficult for them. Not just difficult, very, very. And we all said like, okay, they're going to come out and not stop. In fact, the first 15 minutes, they were on
2
us.
goals, was it 2 goals?
Even 3, I think, something like that. And then okay, it like calmed down a bit, but they were still like bombarding us.
And you being captain at a very young age, how did you handle the situation?
I mean, it was a bit overwhelming, to be honest, but I mean, all you can do is try and encourage the players and try to show by trying to get on the ball more or trying to do extra things. I mean, extra runs and challenges throughout the game. To be honest, I'm not the most vocal person, so I'll try to encourage through vocal. I like to show more, so kind of lead by example.
So more on the work.
So like when I feel a game isn't going well, I'll try. It's when I motivate myself more to get on the ball, to try and win the ball back for the team. Obviously, I'm still speaking to the players, but I'm not the one that's going to shout at you constantly,
Exactly.
if you know what I mean.
Exactly. There's a difference between these type of captains, and sometimes I have been in different clubs, and I've seen different players, and I've seen different captains that sometimes don't show the vocal, but then, as you're saying, when it comes to the 50-50 ball, it's more of a 80-20 for us, because he's gonna smash him for sure, especially if we're
mean,
losing.
To be honest, I'm not the most, as in I win challenges and everything, but that's not the forte of my game, if you know what I mean. I prefer the ball, playing with the ball, obviously. But like you said, there are different types of captains, and I think you need to be somewhat in between, not one that's too vocal, but this is my opinion, like more of my idea on almost everything, that you have to be a bit balanced. So you need to know the right moments that you need to maybe help by being more vocal, and the other moments where you just try to lead by example as well.
And when you took on because we're on the subject, when you took on the captain armband, what did it feel? Obviously it's nice, but it's not easy.
Honor, but obviously to be honest, technically I'm not the captain yet. Steve Borge is the captain. I was just put as vice captain. I was put as vice captain for consecutive games as well. Obviously, it's an honor to be captain or vice captain, but obviously a responsibility. And even at a young age, you might have some different reactions or different people having different opinions. But at the end of the day, it's still a learning curve. And I believe that even someone who is 34, for example, that has passed through most of their football career, they're still learning even at that age. So me being young, obviously, I still have a lot to learn. Try kind of learning as I go, learning the moments, and through experiences you learn when, okay, maybe there I should have been more vocal, over there I should have been more of a leader, like by getting the ball and showing, being a better example. And this doesn't only have to do with being a captain or whatever, just in life. As an athlete. As you go through, as an athlete, as a person, that through life and through experiences, you can look back and see, like, okay, this I could have done better, this I shouldn't have done, and you learn from it.
What you're mentioning, and we skipped a huge part, it's outside the pitch.
Yeah.
So you were always mentioning duels, more vocal. But I think this implements more into your life. So obviously you're getting married, it's not easy. Having to build a relationship from the ground up isn't easy. So I think all this captain and all this, trying to build a team, all comes into building a family as well.
Yes, for sure. I think a lot of football relates to life. So when you speak about football, I think you can relate it completely to someone who's not into football. And I think the way my mentality is about football is the same about life, kind of. To be balanced, I'm quite a, simple guy in the sense that I don't like
Don't like to be a celebrity.
I like to just live a calm life. I mean, most of the time when I'm not playing football, I just love to be with my now wife. It feels weird saying that. My now wife, our dog as well, whenever I can. Because obviously when I was abroad, he wasn't with us.
Exactly.
And she used to come up and down. So
was it regular that she came up and down?
I mean, mostly regular. Like every month she would come up for 2
Okay.
weeks, or every 6 weeks she'd come up for 2 weeks, something like that.
How was
Obviously
it? How was
on
the long
games.
distance relationship?
No, it was good. I mean, I have to thank her and even her family for all the support. Because even when I started going out with her, like one of the first things I told her was that I'd like to go abroad, and her first reaction was she doesn't like long distance. But here we are now, after 2-3 years of long distance.
You have to see from her end as well, because obviously you are trying to handle both careers with two different people,
Yeah.
and sometimes it clashes.
For sure.
So it's not easy. I'm gonna go back to young Gully.
Okay.
Young Gully, because that's how people know you. So I wanna
Yes.
address you like that.
Even my family call me Gully.
So-
fair enough. So
call
unless
you
they're angry at me, then it's Matthew.
Matthew. So I get what you're saying. And where was football something that you used to escape the normal life, or was it just let's have fun and see where it goes?
I mean, from a young age, I knew I always wanted to
Be
be a
footballer.
footballer. But funnily enough, at the same time, I wanted to be an architect when I was young. From a very young age as well, like from 5, 6. I don't know why. I think something was been put in my head. No one's an architect in my family, I think, as far as I
Right.
know. And so I used to say I want to be a footballer and an architect, not knowing that you can't have the both like together.
It's true.
But no, I think it was just I used to enjoy it and just play, and I was obsessed. If you ask anybody about me when I was young, all I used to do was play football. So
You mentioned a word that is super important, obsessed.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that means when it comes what your obsession was back
as
then?
in when I was young, I was just obsessed because I used to love playing it so much. Then as the years went on and you get older, you have to be obsessed and obviously disciplined. I think it comes like a bit hand in hand to continue training, because then it becomes a bit different. It's not just for enjoying. You have to eat well, you have to keep your body in good condition. You have to sometimes deal with things that are around football that not people don't like. So if you're not obsessed with it, it starts to kind of put you down and affect you. But I think throughout the whole journey, as in I can still say that I love football, and probably the thing that I'm looking forward to even after football is to play football with friends, kind of, because that's something that I miss.
That will discuss right after, because I
Yeah.
think that's a very big point that many people don't know what's going to happen after their career. Mentioning fitness, you mentioned that you give this much importance. Reflex Gym and Fitness House are one of our main sponsors for this episode. If you're looking for results and a convenient place to work out and be the best you can be at what you're doing, go to Fitness House to purchase your items, and also to Reflex Gym for the best gym in Malta. How was your diet plan built around your career, or you weren't just?
When I was young, there wasn't a diet plan. To be honest, I used to just like eating, and it was actually a problem when I was young. I used to play with Luxol when I was young, and throughout the season when I was young, I'd be fine. I didn't used to eat perfectly for sure. I used to just eat what my mom gave me, and I didn't used to like chicken breast, so most of the time it used to be pasta. But throughout the season it was fine, because I'd be playing football at school, I'd be playing football after school, sometimes 2 sessions, so it was fine. In summer, most of the time I used to end up stopping. And then one time I had one of the coaches, technical directors of Luxol, call my mom in and tell her basically like, you need to see what you're going to do, because every time he comes back for the new season, he's become a bit bigger, which is true. I used to eat like crazy, just ice creams, pasta. Then obviously along the years, like, to be honest, in the last 6-7 years is where I really started to take notice. 6 years, not 7 years. So it was quite a late time that I started to notice that it's really important. But thank God I did, because now I'm not the most strict, but I know that I should be careful in what I eat, when I eat, but then at the same time, sometimes you still have to enjoy what you're eating and have like cheat meals, kind of.
Are you on the level of Zach Muscat?
No.
And I hope he's watching this, because we spoke about this so much on the first episode. So that for me is one of the biggest achievements for me, the first episode, because now
Yeah.
I took it on, and thankful it was Zach.
Well done to you.
Thank you so much. And we discussed this with Zach about nutrition, but I had to stop him because he was going to take forever.
No,
And he's your teammate as well, so.
he's obsessed with food as well. So like, people are obsessed with football. He loves it. I mean, I don't think I could do it for sure, because to that detail, I couldn't do it. Like I said, I started late as well, but I love it when Zach starts speaking about these things. It's you feel like you can learn from it as well.
Exactly.
Because I definitely wouldn't be able to research and find out that many things about food and what you should eat and what you should do. So it's nice to hear Zach speak about it.
And mentioning that you went abroad and signing for big clubs abroad, obviously you just signed in the Greek Super League.
Yeah.
Do you take care of the nutrition part as much as you should do?
Yes, as in the times that I've been abroad, even more. You have more free time, so you can plan a bit more as well. When I was in Poland, for example, I was alone, so even more free time. The shopping was just for me. So it was a bit easy, and it's also more time consuming, but I had a lot of time to kind of
Play around.
kill, to try and fill up my time. So most of the time I was like following like a meal plan, but in my head, not from a nutritionist, as in kind of with guidelines. And I felt that was the best for me. At that time I had become a bit too obsessed, for example, with what I was eating, and I felt like I was almost becoming kind of sick. Every time I eat something, I'm not sure if it's the right thing, and you kind of feel down all the time. And then I grew up a bit more, let's say, and matured in this topic, kind of saying, listen, as long as I follow like guidelines where I eat the right foods 90% of the time, I think it will be good for me. And mentally it helped a lot, because before it was becoming a problem.
And you mentioned Poland. I think that was the escape to reality, in a way you can mention, because from Luxol to Birkirkara, right?
Yeah.
Take us through that.
Okay.
What happened, and give us a story with it as well.
So the story is basically, it goes way back actually. First I had gone to Empoli for half a season, and this was during my time of O-levels. So it was like a decision to kind of try to do the O-levels by myself, but I was finding it difficult. Also a bit homesick, obviously. I ended up coming back because in that time I wasn't allowed to play with matches because I was too young. So
How old were you here?
15.
Okay.
15. So then I went to Empoli, and after Empoli I came back to Luxol, and that's when I started playing first team straight away. We got promoted. I played a year and a half. We got promoted to Premier, a year and a half in first division. We got promoted to Premier. And I think that was one of the most difficult periods with Luxol. We went, I think, 17 games losing, like not even 1 point, 0 points. And it was horrible. At the time, I still had ambitions to go abroad, but I think like I decided kind of that I had enough kind of with Luxol, because it was too much, like losing every single game.
And you were a starter?
Yes, I was a starter. I used to play every game.
What age?
As in 16, 17. So then when I finally ended up going to Birkirkara, I was 17. And then that was a bit difficult as well. I mean, when I signed, they had signed another foreign midfielder who was very good. He used to play, I think, with Hajduk Split, I think. I'm not sure. Either Hajduk Split or the other Croatian team. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And he was a very good player. Someone that I think I learned a lot from as well, because I signed at the same time and I was still young. But that was the first taste of like going from a starter, where obviously I used to fight for my place, but I'd become more comfortable and I felt like I needed a change. And that's where I grew. I think my hardest time was in Birkirkara as a club, because I had a lot of injuries. Every time like I broke into the first team again, I had injuries, and it wasn't just because I had injuries. Most of the time there'd be a complication always. So my first injury was I broke my 5th metatarsal, and this was when I had started regularly starting and were winning games and playing well. And instead of just operating straight away, I had doctors who told me not to operate, so I just waited. And long story short, instead of doing 3 months out, I ended up spending 9 months out. So I hurt in November, came back the next season. So I missed the whole season. And that was a bit difficult for me. Then I came back, and I think I pushed a bit too hard. So kind of over time, then I got pubalgia. So this was within another 6 months, 6 months later. To be honest, then I got called up with national team, and I had a bit of pain, but obviously it was my first time, and I was always wanting to represent my national team.
Yeah, to zip.
But it was manageable up until that point. But I never played at that intensity, you know. We played the first game against Faroe Islands, and we won 2-1. I played the full 90 minutes, but after that game, my stomach area here was on fire. I said, okay, I'll just wait and see. Maybe it will heal or get better. It's not just heal magically. And then I saw I was going to start the second game, and we played against Spain. So I said I'll just pull through that game. And that game, I felt pain here, not pain that was limiting me, but I could feel it the whole game. That like burning sensation in my tummy. That after the Spain game, even in bed, for example, I go to turn and I'm feeling burning, kind of. So then I said I need to take a break, and this was another injury that had complications because they don't like to operate straight away. And then again, long story short, instead of spending 2 months or 3 months out, I ended up spending about another 6 months out. So
So
those 2 years were the hardest.
What would you have done instead?
Now I know that whenever I have an injury or whenever I have something, not in an arrogant way, the best doctor for every person is himself or herself, because you know what you're feeling. So if you have a feeling that what the doctor is telling you is not what you think it is, like,
Speak up.
it's for a reason. So now whenever I have something, like, I try to, obviously now I'm older, there are doctors that I trust and that I speak to, but always, like, if I feel that like it's not right, I will push to make sure that I get kind of full checkup and check with another doctor if need be. But most of the time now, in the past few years, I haven't needed to do that, But when I was younger, as in, that's what I learned from these injuries.
And okay, so you managed to put yourself into the Birkirkara team.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were a regular at the end of it.
Yes, at the end of it, yes.
At the end of it.
Yes.
What was?
And I got injured again.
You got injured again.
Yes.
At the end of the.
But it wasn't something that was limiting my play again. Then when I went to Hamrun, I had done the medical and everything. But a few months before COVID hit, actually, I remember there was a game where I had done a movement and started feeling some discomfort. But it was just
in your knee.
In my knee.
Okay.
My meniscus, I found out later. But at the time, we thought it was just a cyst. And I had done an MRI, I had done a checkup. When I went to Hamrun, I had even done another checkup. And everything was fine. And I used to play. Actually, I put tape all the time. And to this day, I still put tape, but just for mental reasons, not because I actually need it. And then when I went to Hamrun, I played the whole season. And I remember there was a time with national team where it started to bug me too much. I think we had 3 games when COVID stopped the league again. And we had 3 games against Russia, against Slovakia, where we came 2-2, and against Croatia, I think we lost 3-1, I think, or 4-1. And then after that, I said, no, it's limiting me too much. The season was over anyway, and I decided to operate. And again, with a complication. So the 3 big injuries I had, all with complications. So first I decided to repair the meniscus. I went to Villa Stewart in Rome, and we decided to repair it because I was still young. I think I was 21 or 22. And he said, like, it's better to try repair it. And the operation that needed to be done takes 3 months rehabilitation after. So I did a 3-month rehabilitation, and I came back into pre-season, played a friendly. Then there was the friendly right before the league was going to start. I did a movement, very simple. I just touched the ball to the side and loaded my knee, and I just heard pop again. So
shit.
I did it again, and then I just did the meniscectomy where they take off the meniscus. But in a way, still, for that injury, still in a way, thank God, I did the repair, because the doctor told me that, like, the old tear didn't heal completely, but from that little tear, another small tear came.
So exactly,
and the old bit that I tore was more important and more weight bearing kind of than the new bit. So in a way, it was still worth it because I saved more of the meniscus.
You being 21 was it 21?
22.
Being transferred between big giants here in Malta, big clubs, and I don't think it was easy as well. They're rival clubs, you can say, and especially what happened in this season.
For sure.
So.
To be honest, when I went to Hamrun and then Birkirkara were kind of like a boogie club. I think I beat them once when I was at Hamrun, or twice, something like that. They knocked us out of the trophy in the year with that. I think we lost 1 game apart from that one.
You had won the league.
We had won the league. We had lost against Zabuch, which was a crazy game. I've never played a game with 2 halves, 2 weeks apart, and a national team break in between. So it was crazy because of the weather. But Birkirkara, they always gave us a real hard time, especially when I was at Hamrun.
Pardon? They were premiers.
Yes. This was a league game. It was the last league game before national team, and basically it started raining and the pitch was flooded. We were already losing, I think, 1-0 or something like that, or 2-1 we were by the end of the half. And the referees came and said, like, no, we can't play. I mean, we couldn't play because it was a pool. Water polo would have played if we went out again. But then there was a problem because there was national team break. So we went to national team, and our first game back was the second 45 minutes against Zabuch in Centenary. And it was windy again, and we were against the wind. Not an excuse, obviously. We should have won the game. But actually there was a bit of a controversial penalty on me that they didn't give. And from that, they counter-attacked, scored, and the game was finished. So we were 3-2 when that happened. So maybe if they gave us the penalty and we scored, we would have won the league unbeaten, basically. Because that was the only game.
See,
And to
that
be
was the
honest, the
only
referees
game-
actually said that it was a penalty. It
That was
very
the
clear.
only game that
We
you
lost.
lost
In the league that season.
against a team that got relegated.
Yes.
Ah,
It was a very crazy game, I have to say. I mean, playing on two things, it was different, and centenary doesn't help.
exactly.
But again, sometimes you have off days as well. Even though
Oh,
we
man.
still could have come draw.
Exactly, but yeah, it's still a loss, you know.
It's still a loss.
It's still a loss. It's still a loss. In real estate, you can either follow the crowd or be coached by the best. Elite is the #1 platform for agents who want more deals, more growth, and more leadership. It's not just a real estate agency; it's a launchpad with real training, real support, and a community that pushes you to your peak. If you're serious about becoming an agent, join Elite now and become the agent others chase. Let's get back to the pod. Give us one story on what happened when you maybe transferred from Birkirkara to Hamrun.
So it was during COVID, and obviously people were extra bored because nobody could get out of the house. And there were rumors going around about the contract that I was getting and whatever. And to be honest, actually, my groomsmen mentioned it at the wedding now, and it was quite funny. So basically, there was a text going around saying that I got an Alan penthouse.
A penthouse.
Sorry. There was a text going around saying that I got a penthouse in Ala Gozo. I got a yellow Audi one. I don't know who the hell decided that I got a yellow one out of all of them. And then they just had my wage written there, as in a wage invented. And it was circulating, and my friends were messaging me. And basically, the wage, I forgot what it was, so I don't know if it was true or not. But I never got a yellow Audi, and I never got this penthouse in Ala. And my friends always joke and tell me, like, you never invited us or took us for a drive with this yellow Audi. And even when they see one, they send photos.
Media can be.
I mean, to
a
be
game
honest,
changer.
at that time, I remember everyone was just inventing crazy rumors. Even before Hamrun actually started speaking to me, I remember them saying, they can give you this, they can give you this, they can give you this. Obviously, you don't know what to believe. But
Exactly.
No.
I think they were stabilizing already the club at that time.
Yes, they wanted to make investments, and as in, I think
They're doing
the
a very good job.
investments paid off. As in,
They're doing a very good job,
you
yes.
see, since that time, I think Hamrun didn't win the league in 1 year.
Out of 5.
As it.
Exactly.
So
And no, it's a
No,
very good job.
I was there for half a season. It was when I did the operation of my knee, so I missed the first bit of the season. I came back around end of September, October, played 2 or 3 months, and that's when then I went on loan to Serie C.
What was it like?
I mean, it was a nice experience. It was my first proper one abroad where I was playing and could play the games. But it was very short because I signed on the deadline day. Because basically what happened was we were waiting for a team from Serie B to get rid of players so that I would be able to go there, because that was the arrangement on loan. But the transfers didn't happen in time. They happened that I could go there, but they didn't happen in time that then I would be able to register. So then the last minute, my agent at the time found the option of Siena, and I just wanted to go abroad. Hamrun had also got a player to replace me, so then I went to Siena. And this was in a couple of hours. I remember calling my wife, but my girlfriend at the time, and telling her, like, change of plans. I'm not going to this club. I'm going to Siena. She's like, okay. At least it was a very nice place.
At least, exactly, because sometimes, as you mentioned as well, Poland. How was Poland?
It was a bit difficult, to be honest. Obviously, the weather is completely different to here, so
Like?
most of the time it's freezing, and it gets dark very early, especially like from November to February. It's dark, not the whole time, but 3:30. Sometimes it's pitch black.
No way.
In December, in November. So it can get quite depressing. And then to make matters worse, the place where I was, which is called Mielec, is very small. It's not a very well-off place. So even, for example, restaurants, I think there were 6 in all that you can go to. So there wasn't much to do. It was also a bit alone, kind of. There were no like towns or cities that were very close. There was a city called Rzeszów, like an hour away, but still, like, it's an hour. So, and it wasn't the nicest city ever either. Krakow was very nice. That was like an hour and 45 minutes away. So whenever I had days off, I would go there. But then, like, as the 2 years went along, it's like, what are you gonna go do again? Kind of, you've gone to the same restaurants, you've seen the place so many times. So I just used to stay home most of the time and stay on FaceTime with my family. I tried to get back into kind of studying, but like there's this app called Udemy, and I tried to get some courses. Not so successful, let's say. I need a bit more discipline, but I think now I'll manage to get into it again, because I didn't want to commit to a full-time course again.
This is super relatable to many athletes. About balance in school, balance in life, balance in going out. They call it the work-life balance. What was your balance between school and sports?
My favorite subject used to be maths. I sound like a nerd, but it's true. That used to be my favorite subject. And I went to university. First I went into architecture, but quickly found out it wasn't for me and stopped, took a gap year. And I went into university the following year of Malta to do maths and statistics. I did first year, but in second year I realized that it was going to be more difficult. There was one particular lecture I had that was always with training, so I said, like, it's not worth it, because I knew I wasn't going to do it after football either. It was just because I like maths, even though I really enjoyed the course as well. So I said, let me try find something else, and I decided to do a degree in sports management, which is something that I can still use. So like, something I would say is that even though you have a dream, it doesn't hurt to prepare like a backup plan as well, and still give importance to other things. I know you should be 100% focused on the dream, but you can still always do something. Especially in football, we have a lot of free time, so you might as well fill it up with something that you can use in the future.
From Serie C, was it directly to Poland?
No, Serie C on loan for like 3 months, as in 6-month period. Came back to Hamrun. I wanted to try go abroad again, but at the time Hamrun were asking for money for me to go abroad, and there were no clubs willing to pay that. So then I ended up staying, and thank God I stayed, because it was, I think,
Successful year.
the best season I had, definitely in Malta. And if you see like goals, assists, and even performances, it was a memorable year. I think the one that stands out the most. I mean, we reached the playoff round of Conference League.
Exactly, that was a
I don't know how I scored 4 goals in 8 games, and I don't score that much, to be honest. A bit of lucky goals, but I'll take them, obviously. And then, like we mentioned before, we had the league where we lost that 1 game only. So I think we were champions in March. So it was.
I remember that as well.
It was quite early. Back then, obviously, the league, we played less games, so it was a bit easier to finish earlier, kind of, the league. The only like regret is that we didn't win the double, and when Birkirkara knocked us out of the trophy. That's one trophy that I never won, and I still obviously want to win someday.
Never won it?
Only the league.
You
and
mentioned
Super Cup I never had the opportunity to win, because the first time we won the league, I don't think we played the Super Cup the year after, and the second time we won the league, I left the year after. So.
And you mentioned as well that you came onto the 4th round.
That season where we started in Conference League, we hadn't won the league the year before, so we started in Conference League. First we played against Alashkert from Armenia, and basically we were losing 1-0, and then we had a really amazing game where we won, I think, 4-0 or 4-1. That was one of the nicest games, I think. It was boiling, I remember. Then we played against Velez Mostar from Bosnia, and we won. Then we played against Levski Sofia, and that's another really, really memorable game. I don't know if you've ever seen the video.
Which one? What color is the kit? Sorry,
Blue.
When you played away?
Yes, we were losing 1-0 in Malta, exactly. I scored 1-0, and we thought we were going to... No, like that we were going to penalties.
They scored?
They scored in the 90th minute from a corner. And they're all like, what the hell is gonna happen? Like, we're out, kind of. There's a minute left.
Then
I remember Dodo, no, not Dodo. Someone passed the ball back to me, and Dodo, I remember, before the ball even left, he was already like halfway up the pitch. And I just gave a long ball.
It was you gave the long ball?
The goaler came out, I don't know what the hell he did. But Dodo got the ball, passed it back to Ryan, and Ryan just like kind of cross shot, top corner. And the stadium just went quiet.
Perfect goal. And this was a packed stadium, huh?
Packed it was. I don't know how many people. I think like 14,000 people, all in blue with the lasers. And then we went to like the extra time. Everyone was dead, even them. We had chances to finish off the game, but then we went to penalties, and that was like the most nerve-wracking And then I remember in the penalty shootout, Matteo Fedele gave smashed a shot and the keeper saved it, but he was off his line, so I had to retake it. And then he retook it. And smashed the top corner and we won, and the whole stadium.
I remember that. I remember that.
And it went quite. It was a
then
really memorable
then
game.
Partizan. No?
Then Partizan, we could have done better. We started away, but I remember they had this striker from Cape Verde, I think. He was like 32. Insane, like every half chance he had, he scored, and they killed us. I managed to score in that stadium as well. I'm telling you, in these 8 weeks, I don't know how I managed to score so many goals. It's the best goal per game ratio I ever had. So we lost 4-1, I think. And then in Malta, we started off quite well, actually. But then in the end, we came 3-3. But it wasn't enough, obviously. But it was a nice experience to reach that round.
I remember these games when you're getting me back.
No, it's been a while now.
Imagine like you're playing, so.
It's been a while now. No, those games, that's why I say that season with Hamrun was very memorable. Very memorable.
Was it emotional you leaving, in a way? Or was it like,
I mean,
thank you so much?
To be honest, even when I had gone to Hamrun, they knew that I always wanted to go abroad. But at the time, because of COVID, everything was a bit unsure. No one was taking players from abroad, like in other countries. And even in Malta, it was difficult to get foreign players, I think, because of all the restrictions. And so they knew. But my idea was always to go abroad. Like they all knew. But yes, obviously, it's still emotional. I mean, I felt like they loved me, the supporters and even the club. They always treated me well. So I was happy that I'm finally getting the chance to go abroad, but sad that I'm leaving Hamrun, obviously, because the times there were really fun. I mean, looking at the stadium, always packed as well. For Malta, was amazing. So I have really good memories of Hamrun, and I think I still have really good relationships.
So you left, you went to Poland. It was your first big experience where you played. You were in the beginning, you weren't consistent? In the beginning,
so in Poland they started the season mid-July, and I signed for this team, for Stal, a week before the league started. And keep in mind that the year before, when we won the league, in March, we were done. So even like, I remember there was a game I didn't play because he said he'll play other people as well.
The younger ones.
We used to go once a week to play padel sometimes because the league used to finish in April. Then we had like a month of training with national team. Then we had just 2-3 games, I think, with national team. And then again stopped. So I wasn't the fittest when I went, obviously. And it was a week before the season. Intensity is higher than Malta. So it took a while to adjust.
Adapt.
And it took about 2 months to get my first chance to start. And ever since that time, I don't think, as in one-off games where I didn't start, but from that time on, and then I started every game almost.
How was it, the season in general?
The first season was quite good, as in...
And also mentally, that's important.
Personally, it wasn't the best season. I played well, but not the best, especially because the beginning I was still adapting and whatever. But as a team, we managed to come 11th out of 18, which was very good for the type of club that I went to. Usually they just try to stay in the league, and we managed to stay in the league like 2 or 3 match days before, which in Poland, if anyone follows the Polish league, it's always really, really close. So usually it goes down to the last day. It wasn't easy because you go from Malta, where almost everyone knows you, especially in football, as in everyone kind of knew who I was, and most of the time I used to start, to a place where no one knows you, or they kind of know who you are, but they don't rate you on that level that you should be starting. So I have to fight every day. And it taught me that you just have to fight in training, basically, and show that you want it. And even though they are your teammates, like, you have to show that you're better than them.
Was there ever a teammate who you didn't like and you had to see him every day? And even, for example, like it's gonna decrease your performance automatically.
I mean, not that I didn't like. We just weren't the closest, and I didn't like how there were a few, like, their attitude towards training I didn't like. Like, it's like they didn't care, in a sense, about football, but they still used to play, which used to really get me angry.
And they play at that level?
No, but they were good players, very good players.
For sure.
But still, like, I felt like the professionality wasn't completely there. So sometimes, even though you're abroad, not everything is always better, you know. So there are a lot of good things in Malta, but I think the biggest thing we lack in Malta is intensity. apart from then all the other things that go behind football, where there's investment, sustainability, and all these things. For example, even in Poland, I remember the coach I had when I went there, compared to the coach I had at Hamrun, like no comparison. The coach of Hamrun was way better.
Who was your coach?
Branko. Way better. I used to enjoy it more. We used to have an idea of what we had to do. With this coach, it was of Stal. It was just like training, he'll do training, but you can kind of do what you want in the pitch. It's not like we want to play this way or want to do this. So it was a bit difficult as well dealing with that, because people who know me know that I'm very set in my ways, kind of, and I like to know what kind of everyone needs to do or wants to do.
More technical in a way.
So it was hard to adapt in the beginning to playing in a team where everyone kind of just does what he wants.
Your career so far, it's been quite long, it's been quite long. And we're also giving out the nice part of football, what's happening, what's going on. But also there's the ugly side of part of it. So for example, the contracts, some things that people can put in clauses that you don't agree with and you don't realize. So was there anything that you passed through the situation?
I mean, with contracts, for sure, there was always like behind the scenes like clauses and these things that you'd want to get removed, or you feel that they're trying to with any club to play around, like to take advantage. So those are things that for sure I always use the MFPA, for example, as in
Malta
Malta Football Players Association, as in you pay like a yearly fee, but the work they do is insane, like even for being abroad, even for being in Malta, because they tell you like what legally you can do, what legally you shouldn't do, what you should sign, what you shouldn't sign, which I think is very important for every player, as in you don't need to go through them only, but it's good as well if you pick up the knowledge along the way.
At least a guide.
And they guide you, they will tell you, like, so whenever you have a problem, obviously you can always speak to them because they're there for the players at the end of the day. And I've spoken to them many times, like with every contract I always send to them to make sure, because they deal with these things every day. Then obviously there's another aspect, like where you can get caught in the very, very ugly side of football, like if there are like match fixing allegations in games that you've taken part of. I've been in situations where I was young, like how old? 18. I think both times I was 18, and I don't know, you just get shocked. I remember when someone says that a game is allegedly fixed, even if you did nothing, you start to say, maybe I did something wrong. You know what I mean? Because you don't, especially at a young age. So you have to be careful all the time, especially with these things, who you speak to, how you respond. It's not easy, to be honest, because even if they just speak to you and they want to try speak to you, you have to report because there are consequences. So it's an ugly side of football as well, to be honest.
Hard, huh?
No,
it's hard.
It's not easy to deal with, especially when you're younger and you wouldn't, at that time, if you're, for example, 16, 17, 18, 19, you're probably still in love with the game, that it's just out of enjoyment as well. Obviously then you still enjoy it, but it starts to become more of a job kind of, and you have more experience to deal with these situations. But when you're that young, like, you don't think that these things are part of football.
Especially that young.
As in, you don't think that you should ever think about these things. But then obviously through the experiences, and like I mentioned before, you learn like what you should do to be careful. But again, MFPA, I always felt, for me, they always helped me. And they always, like, when they helped me, I always learned. And I think, especially all the players out there, like, apart from just going to the MFPA, whenever something is happening with a contract or with anything, especially with football and also with life, the best is to try and understand. Because if you yourself understand it, you're not always depending on someone else. Obviously, then you still need help, and it's always important to ask for help. But you're more knowledgeable. That's okay, maybe this I shouldn't sign, maybe this I shouldn't do. You know what I mean?
You mentioned you have an agent. Do you think it's one of your keys to your success?
Actually, that's another thing that you have to be careful. Be careful because they can also try to take advantage of you.
And they're the closest to you.
I haven't experienced that, to be honest, that they try to take advantage. Hopefully never. But you still need to be careful what agent you get, in the sense an agent helps a lot with getting the club with putting your name out there. He needs to be someone that works, and apart from working, he needs to be someone that you can trust, in the sense, if you tell him, no, I don't want this, he doesn't try to push you to take it or to do it as in to go there just because he wants to get his commission. So that's another thing where you have to,
yes, exactly.
It's important, especially for when you're abroad. In Malta as well, but in Malta we're kind of so small that everybody knows each other.
We know what's going on.
I don't feel the need that you need an agent in Malta as such. I mean, when I was younger, I always had someone to do negotiations for me. So in that case, maybe even in Malta, you would need someone to represent you, because what I used to feel is that if I'm going to a club myself, if you're a club and I'm going and I'm saying, I'm so good, give me this, because I think you automatically, subconsciously, you're like, this guy thinks he's something because I'm saying it. But if someone that's representing me or someone in my family is coming to you and saying, because you'll take it out on him, but you won't look at the player and think he's, because in reality, a lot of players, when they're at a contract negotiation, it's not because they think there's something, but you have to do it in a way,
you have to
get the best package for yourself. You have to sell yourself.
Sell yourself.
So that's something that thank God I never had to do, because I had people around me that would help me with that, and thank God for them.
I had many conversations that the parental guidance was there a lot, and many didn't have that boost. Obviously, it's a very big boost to have parental guidance. Did you have any experiences that?
My parents are separated.
Okay.
And with my dad, my father, I'm not close to, so we don't really speak. But thank God, I still have a father figure. I call him Babbo, which means basically dad in Italian, in the Tuscan region, basically. So thank God for him. Thank God for my mom, but also apart from them too, like I always found the rest of my family there. I have my uncle who played football, so through him, I kind of learned through his experiences as well. My grandfather is obsessed with football as well. I mean, he doesn't get into this part, but when it comes to taking me to training or coming to watch, he's always there.
Always there.
Yeah, always there, with a beer in his hand, but he's always there. The same like he did for my uncle.
Did he come abroad to see you?
Yes, he came like 2 or 3 times, and his favorite thing to do is just get a beer and watch training.
Training?
As in, when I was in Stal, he could watch because the like pitch was kind of, you can walk, it's next to a walkway, it's not like private. So he managed to
watch. Strange, huh?
No, it's because it's like a public facility that they rent out, kind of, next to the stadium.
Okay.
But as in, it's not like there were a lot of people passing around. But he was able to watch, and for him, I think he enjoys it. And the games, he loved it as well, because there was the VIP section with free beers. He was in heaven.
So it's so nice to have these people who actually care of what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know?
No, all of them. And I'm lucky that in my family, everybody loves football.
You like to watch football?
A lot. But in phases.
Exactly.
So, for example, in these 3 weeks that I've been in Malta, I don't care what's happening in football at the moment. As in, I'm not going to watch a game. Probably not, let's say that. Second Bundesliga, I'll watch a game. Championship, I'll watch a game.
Why is that, though?
I have some... Because, like,
entertainment-wise?
places where I feel that... No, it's like knowledge about different types of football
places
as well.
Place that you're capable of playing in.
More realistic, because like Premier League, obviously I'm not going to play in Premier League in 27 and from Malta, and not at that level, you know. But in these leagues, I feel that if a chance comes, I don't think I'd be too far out of my depth. So I just like to watch and see.
And compare.
And I also now made friends that play in different leagues, so I like to follow them.
I
had an ex-roommate kind of from my first year in Stal who had gone to Slovenia. So, for example, I would watch some Slovenian games. He was with Maribor. I like to follow. Like one Maltese where I managed to find a link to watch or a way to watch, I try to watch. So, like with Zach, I used to try and watch. Who else was abroad? There was Kane Attard I tried to watch, but it was a bit more difficult sometimes to find the link.
Interesting,
there are
okay.
other players.
Interesting.
Teddy, for example, I like to watch his games. So any Maltese connection, I try to watch their games, and then just any leagues. Obviously, I still love watching Premier League, and I still find the time to do it. Too much of something always gets boring, but I enjoy it.
You mentioned an addiction of your grandfather. Not an addiction, but he likes. It's a pleasure for him to get a beer and watch a game.
For sure.
My pleasure at this point in time is G's Biltong, to be honest. So it's after a gym session,
Yes.
I'm taking seriously at the moment.
I've tried it once.
Tried it once.
Yes.
That's a good start. So we're gonna try it together.
Once. Yes.
But to be honest,
Try it
it's-
again.
to be
I know
honest,
it's good already.
my addiction at the moment. So whoever wants to purchase these, G's Biltong, go on their website. You have 10% off if you use our code CCO5. Take it in your hands. They're insane, huh?
Very good.
They have 40 grams of protein in that packet. So
Good way to get your protein.
exactly,
Instead of just taking powder.
exactly, and it's. I love it.
Really good. To be honest, these are good for away games. Not that I would have them in Malta.
Good idea.
But
Good
in
idea.
Malta we don't have away
We don't
games.
have
That's
away
the
games,
problem.
so handling away games, that's important because obviously this is insane, to be honest, and I think that the bus rides are long.
Yes.
So
In
I
Poland
think-
they're very long.
how
I mean,
how long is very long?
the longest one we've had is like 9 hours, 10 hours bus
Oh.
ride. So we don't even end up training the day before the game because we leave at 7 in the morning to arrive because you need to have lunch as well, and we end up arriving at 7 at night. So it's basically a whole day of traveling. 9 hours of constant driving.
What did you used to
12
do on the
hours an
bus?
Where?
What did you used to do on the bus?
Watch football if it's on the weekend, or else watch series. And sometimes on the way there, not. I would speak to the teammates and
Obviously.
whatever, but on the way there, we wouldn't speak as much. It's more on the way back where we discuss the game.
The
kind of.
game, exactly.
In the middle of the night, like doing 9 hours and arriving at 6 in the morning.
No, that's nuts,
Terrible. No, it's something that in
Nightmare.
Malta as well. It was another thing to get used to because we play in the same stadiums and we never have away games. And even for example, for my wife who will move up, whenever I'm on an
Playing
away
away.
game, she's alone. So it's not like in Malta as well. In Malta,
Mm.
you don't have these things.
So exactly. So you have to see the whole package
For
when
sure.
it comes to signing abroad. You know.
For sure. I mean, it's a privilege still to play abroad. I mean, Malta in a sense is not going anywhere. So to try and play abroad, I think it was, for me, it was always a dream and always something I wanted to do. And when it came to that time at Hamrun, we had won the league and whatever. And I said, okay, like, won the league, the level is good, but like it wasn't that motivating to me. I wanted to try and go
You want to
abroad.
do more and more.
They gave me everything, so I felt the love of Hamrun, and even with the contract and everything, they gave me everything I wanted. But it's not abroad, so, and it was that age where I felt like if I don't go now, I'm never gonna go. So I just took a leap of faith.
Do you consider
kind
coming
of.
back?
Eventually, yes. Eventually, I love Malta, so I want to live in Malta
So
at one point.
So you want to settle here?
Eventually, as in not in the foreseeable future, but when I get older, why not?
Okay. And what do you think your future holds as
My
Matthew
future?
Guillaumier?
No, hopefully some successful seasons abroad. Then maybe I can continue Malta, and as I mentioned before, I love football, so try and play as long as possible, as in because out of pure enjoyment.
Enjoyment, exactly.
After that, I'd love to continue playing football with my friends, like as a
As a hobby.
pastime and like joking around, kind of, because that's something I really miss. That at the moment I don't do because I get scared that you get injured and you ruin
Really
something.
easily.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to be careful. And then I'd like to become a coach eventually. As in, I'm saying that now, but obviously
You
down
never
the
know
road
what-
you still need to study for it and do everything. But I've always said that I'd like to become a coach, and I think I will follow through it, kind of.
Interesting, huh? Because there's not many like to take that road. Like,
Uh-huh.
for example, I had Andrew Hogg
Uh-huh.
on the podcast, and
He is a coach, but not
he,
a head coach.
no, for example, I remember I'm gonna mention the story because he used to kill me. We had a tournament, okay. We had the European finals because
Yes,
Malta
I
hosted it.
remember watching.
I remember he used to come every session. He used to tell me, "Fuck, I hate football." Like at the end of it, because he got really tired
I
of it.
played with Hoggy at the end of his career, and he used to say the same thing. Sometimes, like I
Like
hate
in the morning
football.
instead of "Fuck, I hate football," and he used to kill me every time. But I get what he meant because
You're
like
saying it exactly like you would say it as well.
because at the end of it, like turning 35 upwards, 35, 40, I don't think it will be as enjoying, like even like your physique,
motivation and
motivation.
I know what you mean, but then from another point of view, if you look at it in the sense that it's your last few years where you're physically capable of playing. So if you don't play in those years, you're not going to play again, and they don't come back.
But do you think that at that time they would really?
I mean, to be honest, it depends how you are as a character. If you kind of play football just for the sake of playing it, for sure you're going to end up stopping. Obviously, then, like you said, physically your body needs to still be capable, because then you can get tired of injuries and these things.
Exactly.
So and then you have to see the situation. But ideally, for me, I'd love to continue playing till I can't anymore physically, kind of. So that's kind of the idea. But obviously, anything can happen, unfortunately. So we'll see.
Exactly. I want to go into the quickfire questions. Okay. Should we go on those?
Yes.
Perfect. So these usually take up some time, but so they're supposed to be quick.
Okay.
But they can come into a conversation, which is totally normal.
Okay.
So we'll go on to this. Okay. What's your favorite Maltese tradition?
I think I'd say festi.
Feast. Feet, I said, mother, no.
Okay, you want to do it again? I say feasts instead. I think I would say feasts.
It's in my head.
You're hearing feet still.
Okay, so what's your favorite Maltese tradition?
I wouldn't say it's a tradition, but I think the language is really nice.
Interesting. Okay.
Especially when I'm abroad. Like I try to listen to Maltese songs just to feel closer to Malta, and even watch Maltese TV, which is not the best sometimes, but it just makes me feel closer to home.
I think that our language is super, because we're such a small island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. We have a language.
Yeah.
Not many countries have it.
Foreigners, they ask me like, what do you speak? And I say Maltese. They say, you have your own language? I'm like, and I feel proud when I say it, even though like when I was younger, I could barely speak Maltese, but then thank God through football, I managed to.
Exactly.
And now I give it importance as well.
I had a conversation with Ben Kamel, and we mentioned the same thing, that thank God for football, he speaks some Maltese.
Yes. And it's important because it's part of us, and we don't want Maltese to die as well.
Yes, it's very important. Which player do you secretly study?
There are a few that I like to watch.
Okay.
Paul Scholes, because I support United, and that year I remember him. I love his long balls. Obviously, I love Sergio Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi, and Toni Kroos as well. Those five, I think. I'm always looking at
their sentiment.
I'm always looking at their YouTube videos.
What do you give it? Do you give it importance in a way, or is it just like?
No, just once in a while I like to
just go through it, like a compilation.
I just see and I say, wow, what players like.
What's one word you use most as a leader?
I would say sticking together when it comes to football, especially.
And as a husband,
or helping.
And as a husband,
as well, for sure. It can be applied as well. I mean, like you mentioned before, like having a family and in a team. Like football,
it goes together.
It's very similar. So, like even with my wife and her family and my family and everyone, I feel like we have a team like that. Whenever something goes wrong, we can always help each other. We help them and they help us a lot, for sure. So I feel more at ease like with them around me, and especially my wife, because she helps a lot.
Exactly. Perfect answer. Okay. What's one unexpected obsession or hobby you have?
It's very unexpected because I got it through my wife. Dogs basically, and helping out at shelters.
Oh, that's very nice.
She helps out at a shelter at animal welfare, and whenever I'm in Malta I try to go. Most of the time she goes very early, so sometimes obviously I miss it as well. But even wherever we are, so in Mielec we found a dog shelter and we used to go and walk dogs whenever she's there as well.
It's quite sad, huh?
No, it's very sad, like seeing all those dogs.
It's quite sad.
Literally in a cage. It's like they're in prison but for nothing.
So after the few tough weeks you had, what's a reset button that you consider?
I think just spending the day at home with my dog, my wife. Recently we've been going to swim with our dog. He's not the best with other dogs, so we go very early in the morning to make sure we don't see other dogs, otherwise he goes crazy. And just staying in the sea, on the beach a bit.
That's your reset button.
Like not thinking about football and being with family.
A value you want your future kids to carry?
To be humble. I think that's always the most important thing. Like
humble
no matter what you do, like to to always be yourself, kind of. Like, no matter, you can't get too high in the highs and too low in the lows, kind of.
What's your post-match guilty pleasure meal?
I love fried chicken.
Fried chicken?
So it's either, as in, once in a while, a fried chicken burger. And then there's another obsession I have, like, I love it, a fried chicken on a waffle with honey. I don't know why, but I love it. I don't have it that many times, but that for me is the ultimate cheat meal, kind of.
This is an important one. This is one I always reflect to. I have a quote in my mind, but I'm going to ask you this one. What's one quote that keeps motivating you and keeps you coming back?
To live in the moment, as in every moment, whether it's a happy one, boring one, sad one, to live in it and still find a way to enjoy that moment, because you never know what's going to happen in the next hour, in the next day, in the next weeks, and just to enjoy your life in every moment.
Did football teach you how to handle these moments in a way as well?
You can kind of say football, like through the years, because I was
experiences.
But because I was always obsessed kind of to go abroad, and like in football you're always looking for the next step or the next thing, that at a point I was like, okay, like I got to where I wanted to be a year ago, but now I'm already obsessed like on what I want next or where I want to go to next. So especially in the past 2 years in Poland, I said I just need to like calm down, enjoy the moment, because the moment that I was in at that point was the moment that I wanted a year ago.
And even more, probably.
Exactly. And then in that moment, if you're always thinking about the next one,
you're never happy.
You're not fully in it and enjoying it.
You actually read my mind, because I wanted to ask you that question. How did you handle you winning a milestone and achieving this milestone, and then not enjoying, stopping and enjoying at that moment? Because it happens to me so much that I achieved that milestone, and then
I
I'm
was
like,
looking at the next thing.
and then I'm thinking, why didn't I stop to enjoy, even for a glass of wine, for example?
Exactly.
The smallest
something
thing
that I think like I learned kind of, especially in Poland, but through the years, where something happens, and instead of enjoying it to the full in the moment, I'm thinking, okay, like what's next? And that comes from football, because you know how it is in the league. You play every weekend, sometimes every 3 days. So you're like, okay, this game's finished. Forget about it. Was good. Focus on the next one. So it comes from that. So in my personal life, especially, I try and enjoy every single moment with my dog, my wife, with my family, because you never know like what's going to happen next.
What leaves and what
exactly
and doesn't come back.
Before I forget, I got you something. The top is not of the best game, but at least it was against a good opposition.
So you got
of the game of Netherlands. I didn't manage to swap shirts, so I give it to you instead.
Actually, can you mention why you didn't?
To be honest, I don't like asking during the game or in halftime, so I waited till the end of the game, asked I forgot who it was, to be honest, the closest one next to me, and he said wait in the tunnel. I waited in the tunnel for a bit, but then I realized, even though we played against one of the best teams in the world, basically, I think Netherlands and Spain are probably the top 2 at the moment. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna stay waiting. We just lost 8-0, even though we lost against them. Then I tried again, like
to look out
to see if people were passing, and I asked, but then I said, you know what, I'm not gonna stay hassling. We just like had a horrible performance, 8-0, so just stay in the dressing room.
Super, man. Super.
Guillaumier. It has the date and everything as well, so you won't forget. It's from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Number 6.
Thank you. No Lately, my guests have been getting me fire gifts. Thank you.
Welcome. Super. I forgot, what did Hogg get you? I was going to mention
a book. He got me a book.
A book, where?
But he gave me much more things.
Obviously, behind the scenes.
Exactly. So I really appreciate it. And I didn't even read the book yet, but it's a very cool book. I forgot what the name was, but he mentioned what the meaning was after it.
All right.
So obviously that was very meaningful as well.
But Hogg was your coach as well.
Yes, 2 years. 2 years.
So he's
actually
mentoring constantly.
Yes. But sometimes
instead of just giving you a top.
that's another thing. Yes. So I'm very grateful for him.
Yeah.
Now, when I go on to the question our latest guest left you, he didn't know obviously you were coming, so it's quite
generic.
Let me find it. Our latest guest was Leiden Beto. Okay, he's a current local boxer who I believe is one of the upcoming best boxers here in Malta, and he asked, What's one piece of advice you wish you had followed earlier in life?
You have to focus on yourself sometimes. As a character, sometimes I'm very focused like on trying to help others or what others would think as well. So when I was younger, maybe I was influenced by these things of like what society thinks you should do with your life and everything. So even when I had opportunities abroad, maybe in my head I'm like, but this isn't normal that, for example, I don't do O levels or I don't do A levels. So that was kind of in my mind, and I wished maybe that when I was younger, like I would have been more selfish and gone abroad and didn't care about what people think.
Is it, I hear this a lot, is it learn how to say no type of answer?
Or learn how not to give a shit about anyone else, kind of like what they think of you. Because when I was younger, I was more like, maybe people will think this or people will think that. But as I grow older, it's like everyone can do what he wants, I'll do what I want, and they can think what they want, kind of. And I think that's the best approach to when you want to do something. You can't say, this one's going to say that, or this one's going to say that, or they're going to think I'm this.
You're talking like you passed through an experience.
No, as in I experienced it, not because people actually did that. It's just I was so in my head, they might be saying this about me, or they might be doing it. When I was young, I was a bit like that. And throughout the years, thank God I managed to get out of it, that I don't think so much. So even in football nowadays, I don't read comments as much anymore.
You don't care about what people say in a way.
Sometimes you see, because it's for nothing, kind of. And another piece of advice I would say is, when someone says something, you have to, when someone gives you advice about football, you have to see who is giving you that advice.
Exactly.
So if it's a coach that you know has knowledge and whatever, it's one thing. But if it's someone in the street who just tells you something random and doesn't understand in football, for example, you have to take it less lightly, you know what I mean? You have to see
Not
from where the
even,
source is,
exactly.
kind of.
Exactly. And it depends what it is, because I learned along the way that, I want to say the story real quick.
Yes.
We had a game. Basically, it was for top 6, bottom 6. Okay.
I was following a bit.
And it was against my ex-club.
Okay.
And I mentioned in an interview I had on live television that Zabbar, my club, is a top 6 team. So
I remember.
I really put on
A bit
Boom.
of pressure.
But I like to do it because
Yes.
I'm sure of my teammates. That's one thing I like to say.
And you were very close. As in.
Exactly. So if I think if I honestly think that's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. We're winning till the 90 minute, 2 goals in 93, 95, and we got close to relegation.
As in you were the same points, but
No, it was really close to relegation.
Yes.
Actually, so everyone was super close. So the league was like 15, 15, 15, 15,
yes,
and then 18.
I remember.
And it was everyone close, and it eventually coming close to relegation.
Sure.
And you can imagine the comments, like the reels, the
Yes. I think it was all over social media.
and they clipped from me like talking to them like a donkey.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it was younger me, like younger mentality me, I would have gone crazy. But I actually laughed at it after the game because like
when you have that attitude where you're going to see the comments where you don't give it too much importance,
and it depends from who, as you said.
Then you're fine.
I want to ask you one piece of advice that you'd give to the audience between 16 and 21-year-olds. What will it be?
I always say like to chase your dreams. So if you want to do something, just go for it. But if you have to ask yourself the important question, if you really love what you're doing and want to do it wholeheartedly, not you just say, I want to do this, but it's like 50-50 kind of, you want to do it. If you want to really do something, go 100% into it. Obviously, you can still have backup plans just in case, and after, it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't manage to achieve your dream. But to give it a good go, not to always, if you don't try, you're definitely going to manage, and then you'll always say, what if I did this, what if I did that? So just go for it and then see what happens.
Don't live with the what if.
Exactly.
And also, it's not about starting, it's about continuing. Keeping the consistent
for sure, being
part
obsessed. That's why I mentioned like you have to be obsessed with it and really love it, because it's going to be challenging as well.
And
that's when you keep on going. If
you're taking on something that you're gonna literally live for.
Exactly.
So you're depending your life on this.
Exactly.
So if you don't love football, why spend your time of your life?
For sure. I mean, I think the happiest people in life and in their jobs kind of are the ones that do it out of passion. So like obviously making money is kind of another thing. Obviously you need to make money in life and to live. That's not the most important thing either. You want to feel satisfied, you want to feel like you have some importance for something that you really want to do, rather than just doing like the norm and just to not do anything. It can be anything. It can be you love going out, for example. If you love going out, go for it, because that's what you love. But then you can't think that you're going to make it in football or make it in business. You have to give up things. You always have to look at the whole picture, and you're going to give up something for something else and see if it's worth it.
It was an insane episode for me. It's I think very relatable episode for
It was a pleasure
young athletes. Yes, thank you so much for coming. It was a bit of a rushed one due to your transfer welding. It was a rushed one, and we managed to get you on board. So thank you.
Thank you for the invite, and I really enjoyed speaking to you.
Thanks. And also, you mentioned that you watched multiple episodes, so I appreciate it as well.
Yes, I have.
I appreciate
in
it.
Poland especially. Just to leave it on while I was cooking.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate people who support from a distance.
No.
And honestly, I like that. I like the part that we manage this Champions Connect to inspire young athletes who are managing, and that's all that matters. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here to do anything else, but to provide free knowledge, as I mentioned, to all our audience. So thank you all for.
It's nice to listen to different people and the way they think.
Different
You
stories,
can always learn from, like we mentioned, from experiences through other people as well. So if someone went through something and you hear what they went through and how they think about it, they can inspire you to do something better or to do something in a different way, let's say that.
Exactly. So thank you all for watching. I would like to ask you to subscribe, leave a comment, and like. Obviously, I think it was a very cool episode, so I think you like it. And I hope you like it. I'm going to remind you again, subscribe, because 78 actually this time, 78% of you don't subscribe. So hit it.
Please subscribe. We need at least to get it down to 50.
50, that would be super. So thank you all, and Champions Connect out. Hey, bravo.
Thank you.
Bomba.
I'm not going to put the number, obviously.